It is a pleasure to be here and an honor to be presenting in this room. I really like QCon. It's a great conference. And like you, I guess, I come here to learn about new technologies, to learn about how other companies have successfully integrated those technologies in their architectures. But what happens often is that we come back to our companies that most of the times have grown over years, or they have grown through mergers and acquisitions, and we have to deal with our legacy architecture. Architecture that sometimes is difficult to evolve, expensive to maintain, and limits innovation and scalability. And because you come here and you learn and you know that you have to encourage your team or your board to transform this legacy architecture. So let's imagine you go to the board, you have a sound plan, you have a strong vision, and you have a well-crafted proposal to convince the board to transform the architecture, and you are looking for 100 million euros and 5 years to execute on this transformation. That is going to be a hard sell, I tell you. And even if you find in the board someone as nice as myself, as tech lover as myself, or a future thinker as myself, it is also a hard buy. So I would like to share with you how we are facing a very deep and strong tech transformation, and how we are delivering lots of value, customer value, business value in return. My name is Rocío. I'm the CIO of Spain and Portugal, of ING in Spain and Portugal. And I'm also part of the executive board of ING Spain. Let me introduce me a little bit. I am a tech lover, I told you that. I really like working in tech. I think it helped me to combine my passion for technology, my passion for understanding how things work, how to solve complex problems, but also I combine it with my creativity and my love for art. My background is in telecommunications. I'm a telecommunications engineer, and I'm also a mother. I have a 7-year-old boy that most of the time goes by the name of Alex, but that's in the ordinary world. Some other times he is Ash, the intrepid Pokemon trainer, and other times he's Spider-Man. But keep the secret. I'm also a music enthusiast. I like classical opera, but I'm very well known because in Spain because I love heavy metal. And I made that pretty clear when I joined as CIO. And I started having my town halls with my team, 450 people, with Iron Maiden music. And I have to say, I'm very glad that I found lots of heavy metal fans in my team. I like Formula One as well since I was a child, and I really like seeing the races and how it works, and telemetry, it's fantastic. But it's been a pretty rough time for the Spanish racers these days. Yeah, thanks for nodding. Thanks to our Dutch colleague Verstappen, that is not allowing anyone else to win. He's too good to that. So congratulations to my Dutch colleagues. And I also like to run, and that's one of the main sports that I practice. And my greatest achievement of all time was when I finished the New York City Marathon, but that was 9 years ago. It has taken me a while to come back and to devote myself to run, but as a New Year resolution this year, I'm training for the half marathon of Madrid that will happen at the end of this month, so wish me luck. What is my journey in ING? I said I work for ING, but I joined ING 16 years ago. And I joined motivated because I thought that in a company like this, in a bank like this, that in Spain was born as a very digital bank, technology would play a key role in the company. I also thought I would stay like 2 or 3 years, and then I would leave and move to another sector or to another company. In the first part, I was not wrong. It is true that in ING, technology plays a key role in everything we do. In the second part, I missed for a few years, but somehow ING kept me engaged, evolving, and I was part of the full transformation of the company, and I was given a lot of opportunities that helped me to develop and to be where I am today. I joined in 2008, very young, I have to say, as a software architect, and I was part of a transformation program. I was leading the transformation of the former presentation layer. And while so many years later, technologies have changed a lot, architectures have changed a lot, all the learnings, everything we did there, it is still very present on today's transformation. I also had the opportunity to build a bank from scratch. I had international experiences. I went to the Netherlands. I developed the first peer-to-peer payment application for ING in an innovation program. I was chief architect of a multi-banking platform. I was head of retail delivery as well, again in the Netherlands. And I had the opportunity to come back to be CIO in Spain and Portugal and lead and accelerate our transformation there. ING is a bank that is located in the Netherlands. It's a Dutch bank. And we have presence in over 40 countries, although we have a strong presence and strong base in Europe. We are 59,000 employees. 1 out of 4 of these almost 60,000 employees works in tech, and that gives us the magnitude of and the importance that tech roles played in the whole ING. We serve 39 million customers worldwide, and out of these 39 millions, I am responsible of 42, and I'm responsible for their daily that they are able to bank every day. As we have very few branches and we are mainly digital. So we are 4.2 million customers in Spain, and we landed in Spain 25 years ago. So we've been building our brand there until that today we are the 5th bank of the country. And that has been an achievement, as all the banks have merged among themselves, and we are the only bank in Spain that didn't grow through mergers and acquisition, but our customers have chosen to bank with us every day. Big challenges are shaping the world. We see that since 2020, everything that could happen has happened. So we faced a pandemic, a worldwide pandemic. We have 2 wars now active, very close. And we are dealing with this on a daily basis. No? This geopolitical context is affecting the banking industry, but all industries. We have to deal with growing variation in the interest rates. We have to deal with newcomers that are trying to enter and compete with the banks, while the banks, we are facing lots of new regulations. And also, we are losing our main competitive advantage because due to the pandemic, the digitalization was happened in many industries as well, and also in many banks digitalized themselves. Of course, we have the global warming also affecting us and shaping the way we perform our processes, and new disruptions coming our way very fast, like Gen AI, who kicked up last year and is coming very fast to our way. And we have to deal also with this disruption. But we cannot be prepared for everything, but we have to make sure that we understand the challenges that are coming our way, and we adapt ourselves, and we embrace those challenges. And we embrace those challenges to be successful in the future. So that's why in our strategy, we remain very clear in our core values. We have to be sure that the customer is at the center of what we do. That means that we have to listen to our customers and understanding what they are demanding to us and not the other way around. We have to make sure that we put focus on where it adds more value, and we have to make sure that we deliver, that we do not only have a strategy, but we deliver what we say we are going to deliver. And in this journey, technology is key. And while technology is available to anyone, it's how we use it and how we use it with our team, and we create the environment on which our teams can grow and develop themselves, we will be making the difference. I said we cannot be prepared for anything, but in these times of uncertainty, what we have to be prepared is to embrace change. And when the change comes, we have to make sure that we are resilient and adaptive to these changes. So that's why we are facing a deep tech transformation to ensure that we do not carry on with monolithic architectures anymore, but we transform our technology so our technology remains competitive and our technology remains adaptive. So we do not, in this case, we do not fail by adapting to the change and offering our customers what they are demanding to us. So we started a deep tech transformation, and we are executing it applying 5 principles. First, transformation has to bring business and customer value. If we look at our architecture, it requires a lot of money and time to transform everything we have, and not all of them provides the same value. So we have to make sure that we choose first all those cases that are providing most value to our customers. The transformations need to be end-to-end and company-wide. We have to make sure that also the tech transformation, the tech strategy doesn't belong only to the tech teams. It's not the tech teams bringing the best technology because it's cool. It's the tech team, has to be a bank strategy in our case. So everybody has to believe in this strategy and everybody has to make it their own. It has to be, we are facing this transformation end-to-end. So making sure that we do not transform only where it's easier, not only where it's visible, but that we transform all the layers of the architecture. So by evolving one of those layers, we do not create complexity and we start moving complexity in the layers underneath. So the revamp of the upper layers don't degrade the lower layers. So end-to-end transformation. We have defined clear targets. That means that we have a clear direction. We know where we're going. And when we know where we're going, we know the path we have to follow. And of course, we cannot go in one go to the destination. No? If you want to go from Madrid to Paris, you don't go in one day, but you know what are the routes you have to take to really get there. But you are delivering in shorter cycles. So if you want to be successful also towards the bank and towards your teams, you need to have wins in between. That is important that every cycle in this transformation delivers value for the next one. So it's a short, we apply certain cycles to reach the destination. So how we are implementing this, we have integrated the tech transformation into all the change initiatives. So that means every initiative that changes business components has to deliver its part of the transformation. So it's going to be a group effort. We also have created a scalable platform to make sure that we remove we accelerate on this transformation. So these are the highways that we will take to deliver on this journey and to remain focused on delivering value and being innovative. And innovative not always by bringing the latest technology, but creating a culture where we ask ourselves if there is another way, a better way to do something that we've been doing in the same way for many times. So this way, to make sure that we remain efficient, we challenge ourselves, and we deliver better products and services, and we use technology to improve our own technology, and that we deliver a sustainable and future-proof platform for the future. So this is how we are doing it, and I would like to share with you now 3 use cases on how we are transforming our architecture, starting from the most foundational part, how we are transforming our infrastructure, following with the middleware layer and the core banking, how we are modularizing our core banking architecture, and how we show all of this through the presentation layer and how we have built our digital experience. So let me start with our cloud strategy. We are moving for our on-premises data centers. So many companies have invested in having their small data center, but this is something that was limiting our scalability. In the end, you are constrained by the 4 walls of your own data center. You have to invest a lot of money and resources in a specific knowledge about to manage the infrastructure. And we are not leveraging from the new benefits that the cloud patterns are offering to us. So we started with a strategy on which we want to move to a hybrid cloud strategy. That means we will have part of our workloads in our internal ING private cloud. And why we do that? Because with that, we have more personalized offering that is more tailor-made for our needs. And we also want to have, as a second step, part of those workloads in the public cloud to make sure that we also leverage from the innovation and the added value that the public cloud is bringing to us. So let me start sharing how our journey towards private cloud went and what were the lessons learned through that experience. It is important when you start a big transformation of the infrastructure, of your infrastructure, there are one thing that you have to have in mind that is usually non-stop. You cannot stop the business. And also, it is a journey. It's like changing the wheels of a car while you are racing. So you really have to make sure that you keep racing while upgrading on your patterns and upgrading and performing this migration. So it's a non-stop migration that increases the challenge, but also it is important that it finishes. Because if you are halfway, if you do not finish, even if it's complex, even if it takes some time, it's like being standing in one foot. You have to make sure that you finish in order to take the next steps in the journey. And sometimes it's not that easy to convince that this is something that needs to happen. We also took an approach of container first. So what we did is first, everything that can be containerized, we ship it and we move it to our private cloud. But not everything is able to be put in a container. So that's why you need also to take into account from the beginning that there will be things that require other type of patterns. So the cloud needs to provide on patterns for both and not only be limited to the most microservice containerized type of pattern. Beware of latencies. That is something that sometimes is not that present, especially at the beginning. Because when you have 25 milliseconds round trip, you don't care about the latency. But former architectures are not ready to cope with any latency because they simply didn't take the network into account. So when you have certain patterns in your architecture that made a massive usage of the database, for example, 25 milliseconds per 50 requests, that's a big latency. This is something that has to be taken into account as well when designing the plan to move to the cloud. Also, we have to be very conscious and aware of the cost of our operations. we are not constrained by the four walls of the data center anymore. So if do not expand the FinOps culture towards our teams, that can end up in massive costs and misusage of the components of the architecture. So it is important that also in this journey to the cloud, even if it's a private cloud, that every team, every squad is owning their own, they know the financials of their assets. We have to enable coexistence. This is a long journey, and you cannot stop the business. So it is important to create the patterns that allow us to have the two clouds running at the same time. So to allow the move step by step. Of course, we are a bank. We have to be safe and compliant by design. All our patterns, all our security needs to be adapted as well by design to the new way of designing for the cloud, because it's not the same when you have this monolithic architecture than when you move to the cloud towards a more distributed architecture. And it requires a strong cultural change. Moving to the cloud is not just using something that is managed by somewhere else. It requires a true mindset change of the squads, and that they now have to be more aware of the accountability they have, how they manage their assets, and they have to make sure that they understand that end to end. Because if not, there will be it will be a broken path now in between. So the cultural change is something that is important and is hard. It's not as simple as it looks. So we are moving towards these private clouds. In this journey, we are almost finishing it. But we also want to leverage all on the public cloud to make sure that we get the benefits of both. With the private cloud, we reach economies of scale, and as we have a private cloud that is serving all ING countries and all ING units, we leverage also on the control that we have over our own data and processes. We also apply our reliability patterns, and we design that for ourselves according to our benefits. And we leverage on our own scale to also apply new regulations that are specific for the banking industry. But we want to get the benefits also of the public cloud. And one of the things, and our main trigger to start moving workloads to the public cloud is innovation. That we make sure that we benefit from the new innovation that the public cloud is offering, that we leverage also on the flexibility and scalability that is provided by the public cloud without having all the maintenance burden costs to get that, and the constant update that the public cloud is bringing, that we simply cannot cope with them in our own cloud and data centers. But we know that this journey is complex. Hybrid cloud is also a complex thing to manage. That's why for us it's crucial to have other two crucial initiatives: paved roads and common services. When I talk about paved roads, it's how to create the patterns where we abstract for the cognitive load of our teams when they want to deploy something. We cannot, and when I talk about this, automating these patterns, I'm not talking only about just automating scripts in Terraform, but more creating how we abstract and we deploy depending on the nature of data and the sensitivity of the data in one cloud or another. So to abstract all of this from our teams and squads. And common services to make sure that we do not have two different clouds, but we do have one cloud that is connected. And when I talk about that, I talk about observability. We have to make sure that we share observability across clouds to make sure that we know what is happening in any of them. I'm talking about auditing services. We have to make sure that we also trace any request from asset to asset, no matter where it is, and we have this end-to-end view all the time. And I talk about security. Our security patterns and mechanisms have to be shared about between two clouds to make sure that we have only one view, round view around these two ways of deploying our architecture. So this has been a journey, not easy. I tell you, this is not a walk in the park, but it's true that we are seeing already the benefits out of that. We are seeing already increase of accountability, flexibility, and time to market, and it's really paying off these days. Let's change now. So we move from the infrastructure layer. Let's move a little bit up. And now I'm going to talk about how we also modularized our middleware layers. And if I share these numbers, 310 is the number of life cycles that we have had in Spain during the last 25 years. So you see 3 life cycles in the front end. See some people smiling, I think it rings a bell. 1 in the middleware, and that was long ago, 20 years ago, so it was the first iteration, and 0 in the core bank. And it's normal because it also connects with the lifespan of these technologies, so it's also not that surprising. But what happens when the 3 becomes 4 and becomes 5, and the 1 and the 0 remain stable? That is where we have a problem, because in order to cope with this revamp of this front-end layer that is more visible and it's easier and that everybody's more likely to perform, what happens is that you create complexity underneath. And the more time goes, the more complexity you create, the more things you have to do to cope with the front-end requirements. And also, if we want to have a true distributed architecture end-to-end, this layered approach is not valid anymore. So this is for the more typical architectures. When we talk about end-to-end microservices, if we want to do it right and not having the worst of both worlds, that numbers have to grow. So that's what we are doing now. We are performing a transformation in the middleware layer and in the backend layer, the core banking. And this is something that scares many banks, but you have to do it because what if what we see is that our core bankings are evolving throughout the years. They are extensively extending to cope with the front-end changes. They usually perform, so there are no issues. No, the core bankings are developed in technology that is performant, but the language is getting old, so that we don't find developers that they develop in COBOL or other type of languages anymore. Yeah, and also it grows as it bigs, the machine grows, but you don't grow also horizontally. So we are performing this transformation, and how we are doing it, we are reducing our core banking to the minimal expression. So we want this to be just an account engine where we have something small, simple, and everything else moves to the distributed architecture. So this way, your core remains stable. That doesn't need to change that much, but you move the rest of the functionality where you need innovation, where you need to evolve independently, you move it somewhere else. So in this case, what we have done is to maintain the core bank as lean as possible, and we extract all this complexity, all this functionality We put it in a distributed, in a modularized architecture to make sure that we can also follow this end-to-end and in the end, finish the last mile in the core banking. What we achieve with that, we gain robustness and efficiency in the core. We gain time to market and adaptability in the middleware. We also improve our processes because, of course, now we see the processes with different lens, and we are able to improve even the tools that our team is using to manage operations or to manage these tasks internally, so they are happier. And this is also a very complex journey. We are halfway through, and what is important, and I think what helped us, and that why we are able to cope with this and we keep progressing with discipline and delivering step by step, is that we have the knowledge, internal knowledge. So to accomplish this, you have to make sure that you have the internal knowledge because those are the ones that know how the processes work. But also, it requires the collaboration of the full company. This is something that if you want to start this as a tech program, just pure tech program, it is very difficult to accomplish. It requires the full organization, the full business, working together with tech to make sure that this is possible. So we are evolving our core banking, but this has to be shown, of course. So in the end, we know the value of evolving the infrastructure. We know the value of evolving the core layer, the middleware, the core banking, but we have to make sure that our customers receive the value also through our digital channels. And this is what we did. We are also transforming, that is already finished because of course this is the easiest part, our digital experience. In Spain, we have taken I told you, we are 25 years in the country, and we are offering an omni-channel approach. So that means that we offer the full bank in the phone, but we also have to cope with the rest of the channels. No? When you are a neobank or you start now, you can say, okay, I offer only the phone and that might work, but when you have to certain history, it's not that easy just to disconnect the rest of the channels. So what we are doing is to follow an omni-channel approach. That means the same technology is deployed in every channel, and we make the most out of the channel to make sure that we maximize the user experience. We have moved to a micro front-end architecture. So that means each functionality, each feature is deployed independently as a web component, and we are using plain web technology to make sure that we can offer this technology across channel. Of course, in the phone, we use the native framework, and also we make the most out of the native capabilities that the phone has, but only for the features where you really need to be done in the phone. For the rest, we keep using these web components, and that can be deployed independently. We finished this transformation already, and through this tech transformation, that in the end was a revamp of the full technology of the front end, migrating to this micro front-end approach with the web components and plain HTML technology, we also use that to deliver new products and services at the same time. So through the tech transformation, we built our financial health area. And this is something that we used the transformation to provide added value to our customers. So it was not only, okay, I transformed this into the same thing, but with a better technology, but we used it to bring something extra in return. So we deliver our new modules of financial health that could be plugged directly to the app thanks to the flexibility that the new concept was offering. We did it with a strong time to market. That increased the perception that the customer had on our app. So this, again, we transform our architecture, we easier plug new products and services that are developed end-to-end. That increase the value that we send to our customers. They have more contacts with us. So that also increase how we personalize the app for them, because we know more about them thanks to this contact. And in the end, they also buy more products and services with us. So it's a virtuous cycle on which a change of technology, offer new products and services, more contacts, more engagement from our customers, and ends up in more sales. And this is how we, from technology, boost the digital experience and help us also to gain credibility on how a tech transformation can be transformed in customer value that is transformed in business value. Now we have 700 million contacts in the phone. Only 94% of our customers enter only through the phone. So eventually, this transformation helped us to have less and less customers using other channels. So we have only 6% of the customers that enter through the web only. And it ended up on being the most recognized app in the financial app, in the Apple Store and in the Play Store. So tech transformation, again, delivered customer value in return. So summarizing, what we have done is transformation of three layers of the architecture, and each of the transformation served two purposes. One, to provide value in itself, and the other one, to provide value so the other transformation can happen. Because if we do not transform the infrastructure, and we provide, and of course we transform the infrastructure and we provide more accountability, we provide more autonomy, we provide more automations. If without that, we cannot do the modularization, because of course we require this technology, this orchestration, to continue the journey and to modularize on the middleware and the core layer. And because we are modularizing all the core banking and the middleware layer, we can offer more flexibility into our products and more, also more, we can be more flexible to the changes in the market, and we are able to react fast. That's why we are boosting also the digital experience to make sure that also we provide a better value for our customers. So in the end, it's all also a virtuous circle on which each transformation enabled the next one. So next time, when you are in the board, when you go to the board or you are part of a board, make sure that when we present these transformation plans, I think it's important to show that if we want it to be effective, we have to go to the core and not a step in between. So to be effective, go to the core. To be achieved, it has to be connected with business and customer value, and it has to be all organization pursuing this transformation. So it's not something that you do it alone. Something this size, it has to be done by the full company. And in order to be believed, make sure that you understand that the investments of today will unlock the opportunities of the future. And speaking about opportunities, I want to take this opportunity to thank my team and my colleagues, because without them, this huge transformation would not be possible. So thanks for pulling it off. Also to the Spanish board, because they are believers of this strategy and this transformation. To ING, of course, because they create a place in which technology plays a crucial role for our customers. And to all of you for being here, you have been a great audience. Thank you very much. I hope you liked it. Thank you. So I don't know, I think we have a bit of time for questions. If there's any, or everything's too clear. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
You mentioned zero back-end transformations.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, zero back-end transformations today. And I think, did I hear you say COBOL?
Well, we do not have COBOL specifically in Spain, but many banks have COBOL applications.
So can you share what languages or stack you're thinking of moving to and for what problems?
Yeah, we do. We use technology that is provided by a company and is developing MAPS, it's called. So we are moving from MAPS to Java type of thing. It's a programming language that is created and customized for the specific core banking. So it's not a worldwide accepted language.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, thanks for the great talk. If I ask you what was the one biggest hurdle you had to overcome to reach this, what would you answer?
Only one.
Only one. Not you elaborate on everything, but what was the most difficult? Because usually there is one most difficult. I just want to understand.
I mean, these are, I think, sometimes the most difficult hurdle is to keep the people engaged. Because this is tough. And you have to deal with legacy, but you want to go to the new. And it takes some time to deliver value. And we all like to deliver and to see how what we have done makes impact. So in this type of transformation that usually that's why for me, and this is something that I put on my principles, we have to have shorter cycles. We have to enable transitional architectures to make sure that the steps we take have smaller steps, because keeping the people engaged and enthusiastic about the transformation, it is something that is really tough.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Hi there.
Hi.
You spoke earlier about on the modularization, about keeping the core lean and then building modular building blocks on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
What was the thinking in deciding what to keep as part of core and what to modularize? Because I'm sure the core banking team would want to pull a lot within the core banking, and the other teams would want to pull a lot within the modular. So what is the thinking in determining what to modularize and what to keep core?
Mm-hmm. Thanks for the question. It is true that the design here is key. This is very important. So for that, this is a working effort that we have across all ING units, and we have a group of architects that work together in defining what is in the core and what is not in the core, and they challenge themselves a lot. So the main principle is that we put what is accounting management in the core and all the rest somewhere else. So putting something inside, it has to be very, we really have to understand that it makes more sense to put it in the core. So we are very restrictive on what goes into the core, and it's usually what is account management system. I have an account, simplifying to the max. I have an account, I put money in, money out. So no more than that. And of course, this is a big simplification. But we aim to have this very, very lean. And architects are really working and making sure that this happens. Yeah.
Thank you for the talk. You talked a little bit earlier about not necessarily chasing the cool things, you know, the new shiny things. How did you get the buy-in from folks to stick laser focused on what's important versus, you know, maybe just the new shiny things?
Usually, but you mean the buy-in from
The buy-in, yeah.
from the board, let's say, or from the engineers?
From engineers, yeah.
Yeah, I get the buy-in, and this is, thanks for this question, really, because it's something very important. I get the buy-in from them by demonstrating them how important it is to do these things. No, you can imagine that in a transformation like this, as I was telling Philip, this is, you get exhausted, no? So it is important that they understand the value that they are providing already. And the value, and also that the achievement, no? I always tell them, look, this is gonna happen like 1, 2 times in the lifespan of a company, and you are part of this. So it is, I see these are the challenges that shape also your career. When I joined ING Spain 2008, and I was dealing with the former presentation layer, it was a hell. But when you finish and you see how you've been part of this, and that those learning, I really mean it, and I tell to my teams, those learnings are present in every step I'm taking in my career, and it's helping me today. So it is hard, but I always try to motivate them with the importance of the steps, so they are part of the transformation of a company that goes with them, and also that they provide the value for their colleagues and for the customers. So they have to see it. That's why shorter cycles, that is very important. They have to see the outcome. Thank you. Yeah.
Hi there. Thank you for the insightful conversation there. We spoke a lot about IT transformation in specific, or technology. I'm just keen to understand how the IT organization out of people perspective changed. Surely, going back 10 years, IT was organized differently, and now it's different, given what you're doing. So just keen to understand how you acquired the skills, got the people, and mobilized the transition.
Mm-hmm. We have, the truth is that in IG, and let me know if I answer if I understand your question properly. So we moved to working into agile. So this is an evolution that we have done for years already. So we are pretty mature in working in agile environments where business and tech work together as one unit to deliver value. In that sense, we've been working also from tech perspective and in the evolution of the skills of our engineers. And they are very used to this change because we've been changing for a long time. So we embarked into the agile transformation a few years ago, and they are used to keep themselves up to date, and we invest on keeping them also up to date with the new technologies. So I haven't faced a resistance in my team in general, although to evolve and to change. And this has to be linked with the motivation for the new. So if you build that motivation that, okay, we are working in this, we are moving to something else, we are providing value, I know this is boring, this is super cool, they also are more willing to also take that journey together with you. And the journey comes with change, with adaptation, and with willingness also to transform and to be part of this transformation.
If I can just ask a follow-up on that then, is that okay?
Sorry?
Just a quick one. So when we talk about billing as an example, billing and procurement is normally done by a central team. In this space, you spoke about FinOps. Did that have to change as well then?
I don't understand you very well, sorry.
So normally things like billing and cost management is done by a central team, or procurement is. When you move into the cloud, you do it via FinOps.
Yeah.
Did you find that challenging, having to sort of split up and evolve the management of cloud?
Yeah, what we started like 1 year in advance before we were fully in the cloud, creating this awareness, building the framework, giving them the sense of the cost of what they are doing. So we are already like kind of showing them what it is to make sure that we create this accountability. So even if in the end, and also I'm doing a lot of effort to make sure that they understand that it's not, okay, I have a central team that manages everything for me and I don't care, that they also are part of this and they know the cost of what they build and the efficiency, no? And it doesn't need to be specifically cost, but efficiency is embedded also from the design of the new solutions. So this is how I tackle that challenge. Welcome. Okay, I think we have to stop, but maybe one last question.
Thank you. I was just wondering, on paved roads sounds a lot like platform teams. How do you sell, or how does the boss see or measure impact of these teams and the work that they're doing? What are some of the things that you
Thank you for your question. It is sometimes indeed difficult to sell how important is these platform teams. But what happens if you don't have them, and these paved roads for the hybrid cloud, but it's the same for the modular architecture, you see that if the teams doesn't have a component, they will build them themselves. And then you will have a lot of inefficiencies because every team has built their own thing. And then when you have to evolve it, then it's all the benefits that you are getting by having the modular architecture and that can be evolved independently, then you have to deal with the hurdle of implementing something 10 times. So it is important for those teams to understand the value they provide, because not only for the management to know the value of the platform teams, but even for themselves, because they don't see themselves as direct offering value. And it's important that the consumers, so the rest of the teams that are building features, they also know and value them and use their services. So that's why I'm connecting them a lot to make sure that what ones are offering are the ones that the others need, and they both themselves see the value and work together in the ultimate value, that is the value to our customers. So it is important for them to understand that they are the indirect value that they are providing is also very, very relevant. If not, yeah, it's key. Yeah. Thank you. So I think we cannot accept more questions. Thank you very much.